the sweat running down my face, the frog in my throat from holding back the tears. This feeling was brand new to me, yet this horrible feeling, this feeling of failure, ended up being the most important lesson I will learn in my life so far. Hello, I'm Samuel Levitan, and before I begin, let me explain my family. My mom's a social studies teacher, and my dad's an assistant principal. My uncle's a math teacher and now a principal. My grandpa was an English teacher, principal, and college professor. My grandma was a math teacher, and my other grandma was a kindergarten teacher. So as you can see, I've always been around education in school. In my free time, I would go to my dad's school board's meetings and always put in my 2 cents. I remember doing homework with my parents and feeling like school was easy and I felt prepared for life. Skip to today. I finally got into an honors math class. I felt on top of the world. I remember going to the room and taking my first honors test. I remember not being able to retain all the information I was taught. I remember not finishing. I also remember hearing the voices of my math teacher from last year telling me how difficult this class would be. Later that week, I went into the room and got my grade back from Miss Sloan. It was a 38. I didn't know numbers this low existed. This was the lowest grade I've ever gotten on a test ever. So when I got home, I immediately called the people who knew school the best, my family. And after days and weeks of talking to them, these are the things that I learned not only about school, but about life. First, I called my uncle. He and I talked a lot about everything from God to school to politics. Yet this time was special because he was a math teacher. I thought maybe he could help me study and learn the topic I was having difficulty with. But he taught me something much more important. So I called him up with tears building inside me, and I started to tell him about the grade, and then he stopped me. He reminded me of something my father has always told me since I was born. Never freak out. These 3 words repeating over and over in my head, never freak out. My father's words repeating over and over in my head, never freak out. These 3 words have always helped me in sticky situations because sometimes there's good stress that helps you work harder, but when it feels like there's too much weight on your shoulders, that good stress can quickly turn into bad stress. For far too long, this horrible oscillation in good stress to bad stress has chipped away at me, and I was about to break down. Now don't get me wrong, in the first few seconds of getting a bad grade, you are entitled to be disappointed, you're supposed to be upset. But you have to regroup and understand where you went wrong, and look for people who can help you. Look for people who are trusted, like family. An example of getting up and working harder again, a million years ago when my uncle's student got a poor grade on a test, he actually had them make their own test and then take it. This helped the student prepare for future tests like the SATs and Regents. Yes, I know this sounds cliche, but don't quit. Tough through. Tests are not the be-all, end-all. They're just little stopping points along the long path to graduation, to college, and to life. So after I spoke to my uncle, there are over 56 million students in America, and if each of them can change their way that they think, so that when they fail, they can not only get back up again, but they can use their internal motivation to work harder and look for help and get back up, just imagine what we can achieve. So after speaking to my uncle, I spoke to my mom. Well, at first glance, was not proud, but happy. See, she was happy not because I did badly, but because I failed. And because she knew that I'd have to get back up and work harder. She knew that after this grade, I'd have to actually earn a good grade, which, like I said, was new for me. I told myself that I would not quit like the other students that dropped out of the class, but actually scored a higher grade than me. As I was about to drop and quit and cry over scores, I remember what my family had taught me, that failure is not the end, but the beginning. See, this was the first test of the year. Throughout the year, you're supposed to grow and show what you're made of, and I really needed to raise my grades. So, I really need to raise my grades. My mom has always told me not to stress. Not to stress over grades, not to stress over due dates, and of course not to stress over little hiccups in life. She has always wanted me to work to the best of my ability and to work as hard as I could. She always wanted me and my brothers to enjoy the moments that make up our life, because these moments lead to the moments that you have, your one goal and your success. But now for a second, I want you to think of success. Just think of your definition. Did you think of a lot of money or power? How about a job where you rub elbows with people like Elon Musk or Beyonce? But did you also think about playing with your children, siblings, and friends at a playground? How about laughing over a home-cooked meal with the people that you love? Did you know that the official Webster's Dictionary definition of success is in fact getting or achieving wealth, respect, or fame? This is the definition, even though that 90% of Americans feel that that the definition of success is what I said before about family and friends. So, Stryer University in Virginia is actually petitioning Webster's, has actually launched a petition called Redress Success, and is petitioning Webster's Dictionary to change their definition of success so that people can make their own definition of success without having to follow this structure of a lot of money and power. Like my mom said before, success is what you make it. So why are we still stressing over impressing anyone? Consider this quote by the great mind of Albert Einstein. He said, try to become a man of value, but try rather to become a man of try to become a man of success, but try rather to become a man of value. See, his quote encapsulates my entire talk. Because you will work hard, but you will fail. Yes, shoot for the stars and aim for success, but try also to identify your values and make your own definition of success that doesn't take away from your little moments in life. Because a person's value is not determined by a grade, but by how they treat others. In the end, we're all human. And to be truly successful, you have to have perseverance, be passionate, and be happy to be successful. And that is what I learned from failing a test in a family of teachers. Thank you, and good night.